Happy Saturday, everyone. This is the George here with another stream. I haven't done a stream in quite a while, but some breaking news has happened this week. A couple of things have happened this week that I'm going to cover on this stream. One of them being the actor strike is finally over. After striking since July 14th, a new deal has been reached between SAG AFTRA and the AMPTP. It took a while, but we finally got a deal happening. And the other big news is that Marvel has made some pretty significant delays and schedule changes. Obviously, due to not just the strike and, of course, the writer's strike, but also other things. Now, before we continue, I just want to remind everyone that if you like this kind of content, to please subscribe and hit the like button. And let's get started. So, everyone had a feeling that after the writer's strike ended at the end of September, that the studios were looking to make a new deal with the actors. The writers were getting back to work, so let's get Hollywood fully functioning and get the actors back. Unfortunately, it took over a month for it to happen. There were moments where talks were happening, and then all of a sudden, one side would pull out. And from the actor side of things, they said that the studios were not listening to what they wanted. It was becoming very apparent over the issue of AI. Now, I've said this before on many different streams, whether it's been my streams or being on other people's streams, that the issue of AI is obviously due to the fact that these studios want to make a one-time small payment to these actors to capture their likeness and use that likeness without their consent. Now, it wouldn't be a big deal if you had the actor's consent, obviously. There's been times where actors recently, in the past couple of years, have signed their likeness to certain studios, whether it be how they look, their likeness, their voice, however it goes. James Earl Jones did it with Lucasfilm for Darth Vader. I'm pretty sure Bruce Willis did it when he retired from acting. However, not everyone would be fine with this. There's going to probably be some projects that actors would not be fine with their likeness being used. For example, would Matt Damon be fine if his likeness was used in some movie that he wouldn't have a problem with being in? Or what about Leonardo DiCaprio, Scarlett Johansson? There's plenty of scenarios where you can put an actor's likeness in a movie, but that actor may not want to be in that movie. The other thing is, would an actor get credit or get a payment for that movie? This would be a one-time thing. For example, would Adam Sandler get paid if an AI likeness of him was used in a comedy that he technically didn't agree to star in? No, that wouldn't be fair. And we've seen this before where studios are using AI. They're using likeness, whether it be people that are alive or people that are dead. The Flash was guilty of this in that scene from the movie. If you've seen The Flash, you know what I'm talking about. Apparently, the High School Musical TV series used AI in one scene. They probably used it in multiple scenes, but apparently it was definitely apparent in one scene. Now, that's just being ridiculous and over the top. Now, let's remember what the actor strike also meant. This meant that actors could not film unless you were from an independent studio, and SAG was okay with it. I'm pretty sure A24 movies, you can still make A24 movies, you can still star in them. That was okay. You also couldn't promote your movie. We had plenty of movies come out in between them. We had Blue Beetle come out. We had Killers of the Flower Moon come out. And this weekend, the Marvels. Now, by the way, when we get into the Marvel stuff, I haven't seen the Marvels yet. I'm going to see it tomorrow. So I'm not going to be talking the Marvels on here. But I do know that the Marvels, at a time when the MCU could probably use some marketing, where the Marvels is tracking to have a worse first opening weekend than The Flash, than Black Adam, they could have had some help from their actors to promote that movie. We also have Hunger Games: The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes come out next weekend, and it looks like at least the actors have a week to promote that movie. Although the movie at least seems to have a better favorable word of mouth compared to the Marvels. But because of the actor strike, we couldn't have these promotions. Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro cannot promote Kills of the Flower Moon. The cast of Blue Beetle, they couldn't promote that movie, and that movie could have needed it. They could have used that promotion. We're now seeing actors, releasing behind the scenes set photos. We're seeing members of the Ahsoka cast doing the same thing with Ahsoka, with Blue Beetle. It's all just being thrown out there right now. We also had some movies that were getting delayed because of this. Even movies that were completed filming. Dune Part 2 was supposed to come out last Friday. It's gotten delayed to March 2024. Why? Because that's a movie with some big stars that can help promote that movie. Stars such as Timothée Chalamet, Zendaya, Florence Pugh, and others. Now, luckily, another movie starring Timothée Chalamet, Wonka, is still coming out this December. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom is still coming out this December. And so those movies can be marketed. The stars can market those movies. That's all fine and dandy. But other movies were also getting delayed. Well, obviously, we'll get more into the Marvel stuff, but Marvel movies were getting delayed. Deadpool still coming out in 2024, but now it's coming out in July instead of May. Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 2 is now coming out in 2025 instead of 2024. Just a lot of delays happening. It looks like the summer movie season doesn't have a whole lot happening. There's still some movies that are scheduled to come out when they are. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, which had a great trailer come out recently, is still scheduled to come out on May 24th. I'm pretty sure the Mad Max spinoff Furiosa is still scheduled to come out when it's coming out. So not everything's been delayed. The Joker sequel is still scheduled to come out when it's supposed to. But obviously there is a push to get some of these movies done. Beetlejuice 2, which is supposed to come out in September of 2024, needs a day and a half left of filming. Remember, these actors also have other priorities. So even if you don't have that much time left, even if you only have a couple days left to film, for some actors, for some companies, for some directors, depending on their schedules, who knows when they can get back to work. Now, Deadpool 3 is apparently going to continue filming on November 21st. And I think it will make its July release date. It's got a lot done. Apparently, they were able to get some VFX, special effects stuff done based on the 50% of the movie they got done filming. And if they can, get this done by the beginning of 2024, then they should be in good shape. I know a lot of people say, well, if a movie finishes filming earlier in the year, well, I need more time. Some movies do. But remember, Spider-Man No Way Home got done filming in 2021. I think it was March or April. And they were still able to have that movie come out in December 2021. And the movie opened, broke a bunch of records, entertained audiences. People love the movie. So they can get it done with Deadpool. I think realistically, they might be better off having Deadpool come out in November. I think that would be better, especially if they want to perfect this film as much as they can. And I think it's important that they do so. We'll get into reasons why later. But it seems like they're confident enough that this movie will come out at some point in 2024. Now, after the issue with AI, obviously there was a bunch of backlash on social media. The studios were being called out, especially because despite not budging on the AI issue, the studios considered it their best and final offer, which is a tactic to kind of scare people into believing it, scare the union into voting for it, whether it's truly the best deal or not. And everyone was starting to think, no deal's going to happen. This is going to go on into early 2024. And that was a likely thing to happen because the holidays are coming up, Thanksgiving's coming up, and then Christmas is coming up. So people were getting worried that nothing was going to happen until January, and the 2024 movie slate was going to be mostly not there. But talks continued, and a deal finally got made on Wednesday, and the strike had ended. So I'm going to pull up an article detailing what is actually going to be happening in this deal. All right. So, by the way, just to understand, ratification voting on the agreement is going to start November 14th, and it's going to be running for quite a while. But it's a 3-year deal that has been considered a landmark achievement for the union. And it's going to offer meaningful protections and consent rights around AI, which had, as we previously mentioned, has been a big sticking point. There's also going to be some wage increases, casting guidelines, relocation allowances, and health and pension fund contribution. So, this agreement is going to include an unprecedented wage pattern with 2 wage increases in the first year of the contract, 7% upon ratification, and another 4% increase effective July 2024, making a compounded first year increase of 11.28%. There will be another 3.5 increase effective July 2025. This package breaks the so-called industry pattern. Now, there's also going to be wages for background actors that are increasing. This is going to be by 11% effective November 12th, 2023. In other words, that's tomorrow. And then an additional 4% effective July 1st, 2024, and another 3.5% effective July 1st, 2025. And in a monumental breakthrough, for the first time ever, the number of covered positions in the West Coast zones will equal those of the East Coast zones. This is projected to add almost 11,000 new covered background workdays annually. Nearly a 43% increase to the contribution cap for 1 hour productions and nearly 67% increase to the cap for half-hour productions will result in increased contributions to the health and pension/retirement funds, as well as help performers working on those shows to continue qualifying for benefit coverage. All right, so definitely looks like they're getting quite a bit there, but they deserve it. The union achieved the creation of a new compensation stream for performers working in streaming. Another issue was obviously streaming. Are they going to get enough for streaming? It provides a substantial bonus on top of existing residual structures, making work in streaming more sustainable for middle class actors. Remember, this was also not just about helping the A-listers. This was also protecting the actors that don't get a whole lot of work, that are background actors, that are just like supporting cast members. The majority of that compensation will be paid to actors on programs meeting certain viewership requirements. The remaining money will be distributed to other actors working on those streaming platforms through a new jointly trustee distribution fund. This ensures improved compensation and sustainability for a wider range of actors, contributing to the success of those platforms. The agreement also adds fixed residuals for stunt coordinators working on television and new media productions. The contract achieved important gains for hair and makeup equity, the sharing of uh, I'm so bad at pronouncing words, I apologize. Of aggregate diversity statistics, eliminating inappropriate wingings and paint downs, gender neutral language, access to gender affirming care and translation services. It also provides more sexual harassment prevention protections for performers, including the use of intimacy coordinators in scenes involving nudity and simulate sex or upon request and additional safeguards for background. That's pretty good. Additional gains include establishing minimums by applying television in terms to high budget made for AVOD programming. Meaningful protections for the casting process have been established, including provisions specifying that breakdowns, sides, and or scripts shall be provided no less than 48 hours prior to the submission deadline, excluding weekends and holidays. This is increased to 72 hours for minors. Talent may not be asked to perform more than eight industry standard pages for a first sub tape or 12 industry standard pages for a second or substantial callback. I lost my place. Additionally, if memorization is required, performers will be entitled to compensation, and performers may not be requested to appear nude or while wearing attire more revealing than a bathing suit that could be worn at a public pool. Producers must also provide opportunities to interview virtually and in person on a first come, first served basis with accommodations for performers with disabilities, senior performers, and minors. Substantial improvements in relocation allowances for serious performers were also made, covering $5,000 per month for up to 6 months with no cap on the number of seasons. Based on employment patterns, this amounts to a 153% effective increase in relocation payments. So, this is DEF. So, the cumulative total of around 14.8% is better than the 13% the Writers Guild received and unsealed a couple months ago. All right, but the rate of increase and two bumps by July 2024 have more to do with SAG-AFTRA's contract being finalized so late in 2023, may be not so much a breaking of the industry pattern as the Guild claims. Like the WGA's deal is SAG-AFTRA's criteria for the streaming bonus fund. Both appear to kick in for streaming series and films that are viewed by 20% or more of the service's domestic subscribers in the first 9 days of release, to quote from the WGA agreement. Qualifying that our protections, that's weird. Qualifying that our protections are going to have to be sort of stress tested. Crabtree Ireland and the presser today confirmed the total payment to Guild members from the streaming bonus funds will be around $120 million over the span of the new contract, or $40 million a year. While setting up a new pocket for cast, as Drescher said, and introducing the notion into future talks, that $120 million is far less than the $500 million SAG-AFTRA has been asking for in revenue sharing demands at the very beginning of talks. So they did have to sacrifice some of the money that they were asking for. Well, not sacrifice, but they had to, I guess, lower what they wanted. But with all that, Drescher herself admitted that the criteria of the new compensation stream for performers is not even starting to flow unless the show is matched by 20% of a streamer's subscriber base will only mean anything for casts on a thimble worth of shows, attempting to deflect the potential criticism of the $120 million streaming bonus fund, which may have resulted in 14% of the Guild's national board voting against the contract before today's much delayed press conference. The recently re-elected SAG-AFTRA boss said she hoped to see that 20% fall to 10% in the next contract talks, which will start up ahead of the June 30th, 2026 expiration of this contract if it is ratified. Just a reminder that we're going to be going through this again in 3 years, less than 3 years. And it seems like Fran Drescher is dropping hints that she's already prepping up for the 2026 negotiations. Yikes. But she, along with Crabtree Ireland, praised the deal for shattering patterns, bargaining, and being industry breaking, similar to the talking points language used in the material SAG-AFTRA had sent out. Whether that proves to be the case or whether SAG-AFTRA's deal bears many of the hallmarks of what the DGA and the long-striking WGA achieved, respectively, in June and September of this year, remains to be seen once we get a look at the full summary and fine print. So, okay, so it seems like a lot is in this deal, and it doesn't seem like they got 100% of what they wanted. But the thing is, when you try to make a deal, obviously you're not going to get everything you want. You're going to have to negotiate what stays in and what stays out. See if there's anything else that has more information. Now, this also got done, and with this, some shows could be salvaged for this television season. Some apparently got canceled. Some got enough episodes where they could air. When these shows are airing, we have no idea. As far as movies go, as I already said, Deadpool's going to start filming again around November 21st, or at least that's the earliest they want to start. James Gunn did put out a tweet. I'm going to find the tweet. James Gunn did put out a tweet saying that Superman Legacy is still going to come out July 11th, 2025, thanks to the efforts of our talented crew who never lost faith during the longest strikes in Hollywood history and who never let their foot off the pedal, continue to bear forward, creating the most amazing character and set designs I've seen in my entire career. Hashtag Superman Legacy will be making the originally planned release date of July 11th, 2025. So, Superman Legacy is still in good shape to come out. Which is a relief because, I want to see a new Superman film right away. And again, DC doesn't need any more disruptions, especially because Marvel's dealing with quite a bunch of disruptions, especially in regards to their schedule. But yeah, we're confident in Superman Legacy coming out. That's a pretty big relief. But other movies are still scheduled to come out. I'm pretty sure the Penguin is still looking to come out fall 2024. I'm trying to see if there's no articles on that. I know I saw something about Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. All right, I found something. So Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse was a movie that not only got delayed, but doesn't even have a release date because of what's been happening, which is a shame because that is one of my most anticipated movies to come out. So, according to Deadline, voiceover work for Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse will now continue. However, let's also remember that this film did face an uphill battle and controversy, while Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse did, because earlier in the year there were accusations of poor working conditions by several animators after Across the Spider-Verse came out, which included being forced to work overtime for several weeks to accommodate changes requested by the film's co-writer Phil Lord after animation was completed. Now, obviously, this film is not going to make its March 2024 release date. Sony had denied these allegations, and Amy Pascal saying heavy revisions are normal for a film, regardless of its animation or live action. Now, Lord did address this controversy and said they're going to take the time necessary to make Beyond the Spider-Verse great. Won't back into a release date that doesn't fit. So I don't see this movie coming out in 2024. Oh, hey, Jeffrey. Thank you for tuning in. I can see this coming out 2025. I think they're going to take their time with the animation on this one. I mean, it'd be a shame if it did, but I want actors to be treated well. I don't want any rushed projects. So this movie comes out in 2025. As long as it's good, I'm fine with it getting delayed, because not just the voiceover work, there's the animation work and obviously changes to the movie. So we'll have to wait and see what's going on. When we can expect a new release date for this movie, whether it is still 2024 or 2025, I honestly have no idea. But let's see what other changes have been made to any movies regarding these strikes. Inside Out 2 is still coming out. Yeah, I don't know how much this affects the voice acting. I know it seems like it affected Beyond the Spider-Verse, but apparently Kung Fu Panda 4 is still scheduled to come out in March 2024. Apparently they're going to start the promotion for that, I think, around Thanksgiving. Inside Out 2, which the trailer came out and it looks really good, is still scheduled to come out June 2024. And honestly, this is the first time I've been excited for a Pixar movie so much, because I mean, I like Pixar still, but it's just I feel like the projects haven't been as good as I know they can be. It felt like Soul was the last great Pixar movie. I mean, Luca was good. Turning Red was okay. Lightyear was good. I still have to see Elemental. And look, that's fine if we get good stuff, but it's like I know Pixar can make better stuff. And Inside Out, the first Inside Out was phenomenal. It's an incredible movie. I love that movie. And it was like, the thing is, it was the second to last movie I had seen in my old theater before I moved to Staten Island. I'm pretty sure it was. That and Ant-Man were the last two movies I saw in theaters in my old town in Pennsylvania. So, they always hold a special heart. But it also came out at a time where it's like I was changing. I was leaving high school, going into college. And I also just got back from Disney World. And I was moving away from my home for the first time, moving to a different state, similar to the main character was. Now, granted, I was a lot older than the main character, but still, it was just like one of those things that, like, it was a film that I felt like I kind of connected with, and it's become one of my favorite anime movies to come out in the 2010s. So I can't wait to see what they do with the sequel. Like, if there's like a Pixar movie that I think deserves a sequel, because I know people are we're also starting to get sick and tired of Pixar sequels in the 2010s. It was Inside Out. I think Inside Out's the movie that makes the most sense in having a sequel. But yeah, that's still scheduled to come out. Trying to see what else. I know there's no other movies getting delayed into 2024. Hunger Games, which I'm so excited for because I'm a huge Hunger Games fan, is still scheduled to come out next week. And yeah, I've been reviewing Hunger Games movies, and I'm having a blast revisiting the Hunger Games. These were some of my favorite movies to come out as a teenager. And just rewatching them, I feel like they've gotten better over time. At least the first two. I still have to rewatch the two parts from Mockingjay. But yeah, I love revisiting the Hunger Games. It's such a fantastic film franchise. Well, I won't say fantastic, but it's such a much better franchise than people give it credit for. Yeah, I can't wait to see Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I heard it's really long, though. But honestly, I'd rather get a long, good movie than get split into two parts like Mockingjay did. And look, I don't dislike the two parts of Mockingjay. I still think they're okay movies. But I think if they just kept it as one movie and it was like a 2 hour and 40 minute or maybe even 3 hour movie, it would have probably been as good as the first two were. But it is what it is. Wonka's coming out still. Wonka actually looks like it could be a fun movie. I'm excited for Wonka. Aquaman in the Lost Kingdom. The trailer looks fine. I don't have that high hopes for it. As for the Marvels, which I'm surprised Marvel didn't delay, I've been hearing a lot of mixed stuff about this movie. And I'm seeing it tomorrow. And I'm hearing stuff that the movie's fun and enjoyable, which is fine. But does fun and enjoyable mean it's good? I mean, think about it. A movie can be fun and enjoyable and be good, but it can also be bad. I don't know. I'm hoping that I come out of it at least liking it. I honestly have no idea what to expect. If you've seen the Marvels and you thought it was good, you can say it in the chat. If you thought it was bad, you can say it in the chat. I've been hearing some mixed stuff about it. Some people seem to like it. Some people don't seem to like it. I'm going to see tomorrow. But I'm going to take a little break from talking about the actors strike and focus more so on the Marvel stuff. And I don't think I'm going to go too long with this. But let's get into the Marvel stuff. So after the strike was announced, yeah, I'm seeing Jeffrey. So after all the actor strike stuff was, oh yeah, I'll probably do a review on it tomorrow. I'll say if it's good or bad. A lot of moving pieces happening with Marvel. Now, I know before the strike was over, there was this piece, I think it was from Variety, saying that Marvel's in disarray, that they're regretting focusing on Jonathan Majors Kang and all that they might switch to Doctor Doom. that the Marvels, although there's been a lot of problems with the Marvels, that they might bring back the original crew like Robert Downey Jr. and Scarlett Johansson. Just a lot of dysfunction. I know a lot of people try to say, "Oh, it's not true. The person that wrote it has it in for Marvel," and that's probably true. But you can't deny that Marvel has had some problems. Phase 4 and Phase 5, for the most part, have not been that well received. Outside of Spider-Man No Way Home, Shang-Chi, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, the reviews for these MCU movies haven't been the best. The shows, kind of the same thing. Some shows have gotten great reviews, some shows have gotten iffy reviews. Secret Invasion being one of them. It's been through Phase 4 and 5 that we've gotten the first couple of rotten reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. Ant-Man the Wasp: Quantumanium and Eternals got rotten reviews, and they're below 50% Rotten Tomatoes. Now, I know we can't trust Rotten Tomatoes scores because, again, the score is based on a percentage of reviewers who gave the movie a positive review. But usually critics, Rotten Tomatoes certified critics, are usually positive towards MCU movies. Some movies haven't gotten that high scores. Think like the Marvels. I'm going to actually check to see what the Marvels' current Rotten Tomatoes score is. Because one day it's like in the 50s, one day it's in the 60s. Let's see. Okay, so it's at 62. So it's barely hanging on to being a fresh. Now, the interesting thing is the trolls are not review bombing this movie. I think the first Captain Marvel felt a lot of review bombing from it. This has got 85%. I kind of noticed that a certain corner on the internet isn't really even talking that much about this movie compared to the first movie. Now let's compare this to the first Captain Marvel. First Captain Marvel, 79%. That's pretty good. Not great, but good. First Captain Marvel was a okay, nothing special movie. 45% though for the audience score. Yikes. And these choices. You might also like Star Wars The Last Jedi. Oh boy. Okay. So the thing is, when it comes to Marvels, is it just kind of reminded me of the Black Adam marketing, where they were kind of like trying to throw in where or hint at what the mid-credit, post-credit scenes were. Remember, Black Adam, Henry Cavill returning as Superman here. And I'm not saying this is true or not. I'm not confirming or denying. But apparently the rumors are that something could tie into the X-Men, like Kelsey Grammer's Beast. I don't know if that's true or not. I haven't seen the movie yet. Don't say if it's true or not in the chat because I don't want anyone getting spoiled if it's true or not. But let's just say this is happening. Kelsey Grammer as Beast does appear in the mid-credit scene. Now, that'd be a cool thing because we love Kelsey Grammer as Beast in the X-Men movies. But it shouldn't take one small appearance from a fan favorite X-Men character to make us want to go see this movie. Just like it shouldn't have taken Oh, Henry Cavill appearing as Superman to make us excited to see Black Adam. The thing is, I don't want mid credit scenes to be the reason why we should go see these movies. We should focus on making a good movie so that way the mid credit scene teasing the next thing pays off. It worked with Captain America Civil War when you had the two mid credit, we had the mid credit and post credit scene. The mid credit scene hinting at Black Panther. Captain America Civil War, great movie, get us excited by teasing Black Panther, and then you have the post credit scene teasing us about Spider Man, man. And it's like, okay, we're getting hyped to see more Black Panther and Spider Man after watching a great movie that they had minor roles in. So, and the other thing is that the Marvels, I think, was gonna fight an uphill battle because even though Captain Marvel got a good score on Rotten Tomatoes, it wasn't exactly the most well liked MCU movie. People were kind of mixed on him. I know people came in there with their own agenda because they had a problem with Brie Larson. They had a problem with Brie Larson's comments. But I went to the movie just hoping for a good MCU movie. And there were some things I enjoyed in there. But I was a bit let down. I was actually excited to see Brie Larson as Captain Marvel. And I don't know if it was just the script that she was given, the direction. But I just did not care for her as Carol Danvers. I honestly didn't. That's a shame because I was actually excited when she was announced to be playing as Captain Marvel. I'm pretty sure she was coming off winning an Oscar. And the thing is, people think she's a wooden actress. No, she can play funny, interesting characters. And Scott Pilgrim versus the World, she was very funny in that movie. So I don't know what was going on. Um, she honestly felt like she wasn't really that necessary to the plot of Endgame, other than the fact that she finds Tony Stark and Nebula in space and brings them back. It's just, I feel like this character just has not been handled well. And the thing is, she was supposed to be one of the faces of the MCU post Endgame. And the reality is that she hasn't really been in anything post Endgame. I mean, yeah, she was in the mid credit scene of Shang-Chi. She appeared at the end of the Marvels. But outside of that, she hasn't really been in anything else. The main focus is post Endgame. The characters that appeared multiple times have been Doctor Strange, Spider Man, and Guardians of the Galaxy. Anyone else? And you know what? That's also kind of a problem with Marvel because they still have characters in the MCU, and they also got characters they're introducing into the MCU. But it's like you kind of have an idea of who they want to be the faces post Endgame. I mean, Spider-Man and Doctor Strange are the two likely ones that are going to be main faces because Spider-Man's popular. Doctor Strange, he's going to be central to the multiverse saga. And I know I'm pretty sure Marvel wanted T'Challa, the Black Panther, but Chadwick Boseman's death, may he rest in peace, obviously changed those plans around. I mean, I know people said they can still recast him, but Marvel chose not to do that. And I mean, this is a Okay, I'm having trouble with my mic. Sorry about that. But as I was saying before, I was having mic problems. When are we gonna see Hercules again? When are we gonna see Thor again? What's going on with the Eternals? Has anyone really asked about what has happened at the end of Eternals? I saw a post. I'm gonna find the post on Twitter. Because this is a good point. Eternals came out 2 years ago. Ugh. I think I found it. I'm gonna put it up. There's been 7 Marvel movies since Eternals, and still nobody in the MCU is talking about this thing. I mean, I know people are saying, "Oh, Captain America's 4 is gonna announce it," but it's like we gotta wait 2 years. And that's another thing. Captain America: Brave New World was another movie that got delayed. And I'm gonna find the reason why. And this was a strange one at first because this was one that actually did get done filming before the actors went on strike. We thought this was gonna be At first we thought this was gonna be the only 2024 MCU movie we're gonna get, since it was done filming, but that's not the case. Right, so here's the reason why. I'm gonna put it up. Captain America 4 reportedly getting extensive reshoots after cutting major scenes. Yikes! Captain America Brave New World is reportedly undergoing extensive reshoots after cutting a handful of major scenes from the film. So, industry insider Jeff Snyder revealed on a new episode of A Hot Mic that, according to his sources, an early screening of Captain America Brave New World did not do great. 3 sequences are being cut and reshoots are being planned from January until May or June of 2024, Snyder said. So, Captain America Brave New World was previously scheduled to release on July 26, 2024. So, this is also Deadpool 3's new release date. However, with the Screen Actors Guild, American Federation of Television and Radio Artists strike now over, Marvel Studios have shifted a number of upcoming movie release dates. Deadpool 3 is now taking Captain America 4's release date, while Brave New World has been bumped back to February 14th, 2025. So it's coming out on Valentine's Day. Which is pretty interesting. There's been other dates. I'm going to put that article up. This is from Deadline. So, Marvel's Deadpool 3 moves to July 2024 and Captain America Brave New World to 2025 as Disney shakes up schedule due to actor strike. So, we already know Deadpool 3 is going to be the only Marvel movie to come out next year. Captain America 4 is coming out February 14th, 2025. So, to make room, Disney moved Blade. Oh, I had no idea that Blade got moved to February 14th. So now it's going to come out in November 7th, 2025 that year. They should have Blade come out around Halloween. I'm sorry. I think it should come out in October. I love the Blade movies, but I love rewatching them around October. Yeah, they seem to love Valentine's Day. Did Black Panther come out on Valentine's Day? I can't remember now. Hey, Anthony Beltry. So, Marvel's Thunderbolts also got delayed. Now, just remember, this movie was supposed to come out December 20th, 2024. This movie didn't even start filming because it wasn't finished being written before the writer's strike began. See, Deadpool 3 was able to film during the writer's strike until the actors went on strike because they got the story done. So now this movie, Thunderbolts, is coming out July 25th, 2025. Now, even though this is not Marvel, Mufasa, the Lion King sequel or prequel, I don't honestly know now, was supposed to come out July 5th, but is now coming out December 20th, 2024. Apparently, there were two untitled movies on the schedule that have been scrubbed. They were supposed to come out on July 25th, 2025 and November 7th, 2025. Those are the release dates that the Marvel movies are taking over. Um, so another movie, even though this is a Sony movie, Venom 3 was going to come out July 14th, but is now going to come out November 8th, 2024. I'm kind of surprised they're not continuing the tradition of having Venom movies come out in October. Actually, let me see something. Yeah, Lion King is a prequel. I don't know why they called it a sequel. I just want to see something real quick. I mean, it's technically not the only Marvel movie because you got the Sony movies coming out. So, Kraven the Hunter is still scheduled to come out August 30th, 2024. What about Madam Web? Madam Web, February 16th, 2024. Okay, so we still have the Sony movies coming out next year. Yeah, Sony technically does pick the release dates. We still don't know when as I said before, we still don't know the release date for Beyond the Spider Verse. Um, as far as Spider-Man 4 with Tom Holland, really no word on that. Although apparently there was that bizarre rumor about Michael Keaton's Vulture returning that Daniel RPK posted out there. Which, by the way, I don't know how anyone can believe anything about any casting announcements from Scoopers during the actor strike because you can't announce any casting during the strike. Yeah, Venom 3 is the only Sony movie I really care about that's not Spider Man. As far as I know, the thing that I did hear about with Tom Holland's Spider Man 4 is that apparently they're going to start production fall or late 2024. But there's so many MCU projects coming out in 2025 already. Because don't forget, Fantastic Four is still supposed to come out in I think May 2025. And apparently we're supposed to hear about a casting announcement about that soon. Who knows when we're going to hear about that? But yeah, we got Captain America, Brave New World, Fantastic Four, Thunderbolts, and Blade. You mean to tell me we're gonna have 5 MCU movies come out? That's just crazy. Yeah, I can see one of these projects getting delayed. I can honestly see something getting delayed to 2026. There's just so much uncertainty with the MCU. Like, I'm kind of glad that Deadpool 3 is the only MCU movie to come out next year. First reason is because that's like the only MCU movie that I'm really excited about, that I actually have any hope will be a good movie. But also, it's considered one of their most important projects. And for me, this is a project that I think needs the time and attention. So, if that's the case, so be it. Focus on making Deadpool 3 one of the best MCU movies, or at least one of the best post Endgame MCU movies, because that's to me more important right now. No, the first two Deadpool movies are pretty good movies in my opinion. Well, actually, the first Deadpool is a great movie. Deadpool 2, not as good, but still pretty good movie. And you're getting Hugh Jackman back as Wolverine. You might have other appearances in there. This is going to be a multiverse movie that's going to be important to the events leading up to King Dynasty. The thing is, this is a movie that I feel like you got to get right. And I was talking to my friend about this yesterday, and basically we both agreed that if Deadpool 3 is not good, the MCU is toast. They got to get this right. There's certain projects that it's fine if you misfire, but you need to get right. No Way Home, you had to get right. You got it right. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, you had to get it right. You got it right. King Dynasty, Quantumanium, that's a project that was a big misfire. It was a big misfire. Look, I did say I enjoyed some things about the movie. That's true. But there are also some things that I just wish could have been so much better about that movie. That like they missed the mark on that movie. Now the Marvels, I honestly don't know what's gonna go on with this movie. Rumors that it could tie into the multiverse, rumors that it might not. I don't know. Thor Love and Thunder, I mean, I wish that movie could have been better because you know what? I love Ragnarok. But at the same time, it's not like that movie was necessary to be one of the best MCU movies. To me, I don't feel like it was as important as wasn't as important as say No Way Home or Quantumanium, or Multiverse of Madness, stuff that's tied to the multiverse. Well, technically, Iron Man 2 was the only MCU movie of 2010. In 2008, it was Iron Man the Incredible Hulk. First Iron Man was successful. The Incredible Hulk, not as much. I do agree with you on the Avengers. I mean, to me, I think next year is an interesting year for comic book movies in general because you got Deadpool 3, you got Venom 3, you got Craven the Hunter, you got Madam Web, and you got the sequels to Joker. And to me, Joker doesn't need a sequel, but casting Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn really intrigues me. Now, personally, I am a fan of Lady Gaga, and she has come into her own as an actress pretty well. So I'm very curious to see what she's going to do as Lady Gaga. Now, there's a rumor going around that apparently Marvel's also doing this because 2025 is a big year for DC. You got Superman Legacy coming out in July. You got the Batman Part 2 still scheduled to come out, I think October 2025. Yeah, she is. She was great in A Star Is Born. But yeah, you got the two heavy hitters of DC, Batman and Superman, with movies coming out in 2025. Now, the Batman, I'm pretty sure is going to be a great movie. I trust Matt Reeves. The first Batman movie he directed did pretty well at the box office. Superman Legacy, to me, is the most important movie for 2025. Way more important than any MCU movie coming out because this is the first DCU film. It's directed by James Gunn. It's the first Superman solo movie since Man of Steel. Superman, while he's still a popular character, needs to do well in the box office. I have no doubt that this movie's going to be a good movie because I trust James Gunn, but it's got to be a success. And if I'm going to be honest, I think there's more hype for Superman Legacy and the Batman Part 2 than for most of the MCU projects that are coming out in the next few years. And that's not me crapping on Marvel. That's me kind of being truthful. I feel like there's MCU fatigue. I mean, I feel like there's superhero fatigue. But if the superhero movie is unique, if it's got something about them that's special, people will go see it. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was a unique MCU movie. The Batman was a unique comic book movie that came out last year. No Way Home. Yeah, you celebrate nearly 20 years of Spider-Man movies, but it was told in such a great, still unique way that people went to go see it. And so James Gunn, who's known for creating unique, special superhero comic book movies, I think he could pull off a Superman Legacy. Matt Reeves, he's probably going to pull it off with the Batman Part 2. Of these MCU projects that are coming out in 2024, the only one that I feel any hype for, and it could change based on who the cast is Fantastic Four. I'm not really. I mean, Thunderbolts, I'm curious about, but I'm not excited about. Same thing with Captain America: Brave New World. Blade, I'm a little bit more excited now that it's been confirmed that's going to be an R-rated movie. But after all the problems this movie's been having, I'm very hesitant about this movie. I really am. And as far as the shows go, the Loki finale was very good, by the way. I really enjoyed Loki season 2. But I know the Echo trailer looked really good. But Marvel's done this before where they have really good trailers. But the project turns out to be disappointing. And Echo, I want to be excited for this. It looks really cool. But I feel like I've seen this before with Secret Invasion, where the trailers looked pretty good and it set up a dark, serious tone for an MCU show. And it became one of the most frustrating MCU projects we've ever gotten. I'm not saying I'm done Jeffrey Miller, but I'm not as excited as I used to be. Yeah, that's the thing. We just want a good Fantastic Four movie. I don't know like how true the rumor is that Jake Gyllenhaal could be Mr. Fantastic. That would I like why? Why would you like have another Marvel actor who played a pretty significant Marvel character return? I know you have the Gemma Chan situation where she played a minor character in Captain Marvel and then played a major character in Eternals. That's different. You mean to tell me you can get Jake Gyllenhaal, who played Mysterio, who framed Peter Parker for murder, that was the main antagonist of Far From Home, and you're going to have him play a main protagonist in the MCU? That's just too bizarre. Yeah, things are not looking good. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a bigger flop than the Flash. I'm not gonna lie. I think this movie's gonna bomb worse than the Flash. Eternals. I mean, I don't hate Eternals, but that third act was just way too long. I'm sorry, it was just way too long of a third act. Some scenes did feel too long. Yeah, that's the other thing. Disney, listen, Bob Iger was the most tone deaf of the CEOs with some of his ignorant comments saying, "Oh, you ain't gonna get what you all asked for." It's like you don't even sound like you want to negotiate. And it's like high school, like I said before, your High School Musical TV series had AI in it, or has been accused of using AI. Like, get out of here with some of your nonsense. Just I don't know of any other major Disney movie. Inside Out 2 is still coming out in June. I am excited for that, as I said before. To be fair, I'm actually more excited for Inside Out 2 than most of the MCU movies coming out. Because it looks like it's going to be a unique movie. But yeah, no, honestly, in 2025, I am excited for Superman Legacy and the Batman Part 2. And if it gets delayed to 2025, I'm more excited for Spider Man Beyond the Spider Verse than I am that movie, any of the MC movies. That's if it comes out in 2025. We still don't know when it's coming out. I'm trying to think, like, I know Mission Impossible Directing Part 2 is coming out in 2025. I'm way more excited for that than any of the MC movies. Is the Star Wars movie still coming out? I know a Star Wars movie is supposed to come out in 2025. I should look that up. I mean, I don't want to go on Wikipedia, but all right, this is a list I got from Wikipedia. So Disney, besides having Inside Out 2 and Deadpool 3, technically Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes because it's made by 20th Century Studios. Now, Kingdom, I'm excited for. That's probably my second most anticipated movie of 2024, even more so than Deadpool 3. The only film I'm more excited for is Dune Part 2. But yeah, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, that looks incredible. I'm very excited for that movie. Um, Alien Romulus. Oh, we talked about Mufasa, Lion King, Snow White. Snow White got delayed by a year. Not so excited for that. Elio got delayed by a year. I'm surprised that got delayed. But then again, you got Inside Out too, so you don't really need two Pixar movies. Avatar 3 is still scheduled for 2025. No, I think Star Wars got delayed. Apparently, there's two Star Wars movies coming out in 2026, one in December and one in May. Weeks after King Dynasty. Okay, that's an interesting choice. So, So, anyways, that's basically our Disney slate for right now. Um, I think I'm going to talk about one more topic before I end the stream, and I didn't say it before, but it actually just came across my mind because after the strikes had ended, it was announced, and this is something that I want to be excited for, but based on what studio, based on who the producer is, I don't know if I can be yet. So, if for those of you who aren't aware, a Legend of Zelda movie has been announced. It come out. It's a live action Legend of Zelda movie, and it's going to be made by Sony. And it's also going to be produced by Avia Red. And we know Avia Red from producing the Spider-Man movies. On one hand, he's produced some of the best Spider-Man movies, but has also made decisions that have hurt Spider-Man movies. Avia Red is known as the guy who pressured Sam Raimi into including Venom in Spider-Man 3 when Raimi did not want to put Venom in Spider-Man 3. He's also known for some of the bizarre decisions for the Amazing Spider-Man movies and pushed to have a Venom film come out regardless of whether or not it's tied to Spider-Man. The most bizarre thing about Spider-Man No Way Home was not inside the movie, but in the credits when they basically gave this big tribute to Avia Red in the credits. It was also Avia Red that apparently made certain decisions and changes with the MCU Spider-Man movies. Apparently, he's the main reason why Uncle Ben is never really brought up, particularly in certain scenes in Far From Home, where the original idea during Mysterio's illusions was to have Uncle Ben's grave in there alongside, or I think the only grave that Peter sees, not Tony Stark's. Or I think like have it where he makes Peter feel guilty for having Tony Stark replace Uncle Ben. I'm not too sure. Apparently, the original fairy scene had Spider-Man looking a lot better than he did in the movie, and apparently, in Spider-Man: Homecoming, War Machine and Vision were also supposed to appear. Apparently, these ideas were scrapped by Avia Red. Who really knows? I I mean, this was stuff that was rumored, but I wouldn't be surprised. So, The Legend of Zelda, the movie, was announced. And obviously, this makes a lot of sense because the Mario movie had come out this year and made over $1 billion worldwide, did fairly well. It's the second highest grossing movie this year behind Barbie. It's most likely going to be the second highest grossing movie of 2023. I don't see any other movie coming out this year making over $1 billion worldwide. And there's a lot of questions about can this movie work, especially in live action, because I feel like with animation, there's a lot more you can do. And the thing is, Sony has stepped up animation with their Spider-Verse movies. Oh, I can't open that article from the Rolling Stone. Now, Wes Ball has been attached to direct this movie. Now, we know Wes Ball from directing the Maze Runner movies as well as the upcoming Planet of the Apes movie. And it's interesting because Wes Ball had put out a tweet saying he would be interested in directing a Legend of Zelda movie many years ago. So another thing is Derek Connolly is going to be writing this. This is where my concerns are kicking in because I'm going to show you his filmography work. So he has directed, well, not directed, but written the screenplays for Jurassic World, which I don't think was a bad movie, but that movie, I enjoyed Jurassic World, but certain weird things in that movie, including Bryce Dallas Howard being able to run in high heels, kind of thing, was just weird. I never see monster trucks. Uh, got mixed and negative reviews. Oof. Kong Skull Island. This was okay. Not a great movie, but okay. Fallen Kingdom, mixed bag. Detective Pikachu, pretty good movie. One of the better live action video game movies. And this was actually the beginning of video game movies getting a lot better. Star Wars Rise of Skywalker. Jurassic World Dominion. Big. Yeah, that's not promising. I remember when Pokemon Go was popular, Jeffrey. I wish I had tried it. But yes, that's just another movie. I want to be excited for it, but I don't know. I'm not really big on Avia Red being a producer because Avia Red is known for quantity over quality based on some of his bizarre decisions. And I don't know. I just hope Tom Holland's not playing Link. I have nothing against Tom Holland. I love him as Spider-Man. I do. But he's already playing Nathan Drake in Uncharted, another Sony franchise, well, video game that movie franchise from Sony. Do we need him playing as Link? Do we need him like him going, hey, King of Red Lions, or hey, Navi, hey, Deku Tree. It's like, do we need him, Spider-Man being Link? Remember when that was a rumor? Tom Holland could be tied to playing Link in a Legend of Zelda thing for like Netflix. Hope that doesn't happen because he's got ties to Sony. He's tied to two Sony franchises already. I'm very curious though what direction they go with Legend of Zelda because there's been so many Legend of Zelda games. There's so many ideas you can have, but it's likely that they couldn't do a movie based off some of the more recent Zelda stuff like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, which I love. Which I love Breath of the Wild, and I haven't played Tears of the Kingdom yet, but I'm gonna ask for it for Christmas, and hopefully I get it for Christmas. But I wonder, like, are they gonna like go make their own original story and take elements from different Zelda games, kind of similar to how the Mario movie took different elements from different Mario games? But this being a live action movie, it's definitely going to be longer than the Mario movie. I'm just curious how much longer and how epic of a movie can you make Legend of Zelda? I think you can if handled correctly. So, yeah, I'm excited for this. I just wonder, how are they gonna do this based off timelines? Are they just gonna combine certain elements? Because the thing about the Legend of Zelda is Legend of Zelda has a very complicated timeline where it starts off with Skyward Sword, then you go into the Minish Cap. I'm pretty sure. I know, like Ocarina of Time, that's where like timelines are split. You got the adult timeline, you got the child timeline. Adult timeline has Wind Waker, Phantom Hourglass, Spirit Tracks, Child timeline has Majora's Mask, like Princess, Four Swords Adventure. Like there's so much you can do with a Zelda. Oh, and you also have like the Heroes Defeated timeline with like Link to the Past and other Zelda games. So I just wonder, are they gonna go like the timeline route, and how they're gonna handle it? I just hope like Sony's respectful to this. That's not a dumpster fire. I think this should be animated. I would have liked to have seen. I would like to have seen DreamWorks, because I can see DreamWorks doing an animated Zelda movie that could be pretty good. I mean, if you look at some of their other movies, that they basically handled all the elements that Legend of Zelda has. You got the fantasy element with Shrek and How to Train Your Dragon. You got the action element with Kung Fu Panda and How to Train Your Dragon. They've done a lot of these elements before, and it's worked really well. Well, it is what it is. Sony's got their hands on Legend of Zelda. Avia Red's gonna be involved, and that's a little disappointing. Not gonna lie. And I think I've covered everything that I wanted to talk about tonight. Um, as far as just summarizing all this stuff, the actor strike, I'm glad the actors have gotten the deal that they thought was best for them. Hopefully, we don't run into this problem in a few years. I can't wait to see or hear about stuff going back into production, hearing more casting, decisions being made. Um, I'm glad that some stuff is coming out on time, such as Superman Legacy. Hopefully, some more stuff comes out on time. If some stuff needs to be delayed to look a lot better, like Deadpool 3, so be it. As far as Marvel goes, it's sad to see a franchise that I love going downward. And not everything's been bad, like I said, but I feel like there's been more mid-level to mediocre stuff than good stuff. And I want to get back to the good. I want to get back to having movies that are great. Because I feel like at this part of the Infinity Saga, this was when we were getting our Captain America, the Winter Soldiers of the world, the Guardians of the Galaxies of the world, and we're struggling to get to the level of a pretty good movie like Ant-Man and like the first Ant-Man and first Doctor Strange. If we can't even hit that level, then yikes. I think some of the 2025 stuff should get delayed because you know that year has some important movies coming out. Fantastic Four and Blade. To me, those are two projects that Marvel needs to get right. Same thing with Daredevil Born Again. I think that's finally going to continue filming as well. It's probably not going to come out in 2024, probably 2025. Yeah, I focus more so on the movies than the shows, but I can see Daredevil Born Again that getting delayed to 2025. No, I am excited for Deadpool 3 though, and hopefully that turns out good. And as for the Legend of Zelda movie, I love the Legend of Zelda. I love the games. I did a review on Wind Waker this summer. I love these games. I love this franchise. I want this movie to be good. I want to see this movie. I want to root for it. Based on who the screenplay writer is and who is producing it, I honestly have no idea. I'm not concerned about Wes Ball directing it. I know people give him some flack about the Maze Runner movies, but I'm not concerned about him directing it. Because even though Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes hasn't come out yet, that movie actually looks really good, in my opinion. There's a good chance it might not be good, but I'm still excited for it. I am curious as to what game or games he's going to base this on. Is it going to base it more so on the more recent stuff like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom? or go into the more traditional routes of Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask? Is he going to combine elements together? Like, is he going to take some elements from Ocarina of Time, some from Twilight Princess, some from Majora's Mask, some from Wind Waker, and combine them? I'm very curious. But anyways, guys, I think I'm going to end it here for today. And I just want to thank you guys for watching. As for what's coming on the channel, I don't know when the next stream is going to be. But as far as videos go, I'm seeing the Marvels tomorrow. I'm going to review it. I also plan on seeing next weekend Hunger Games, The Ballad of the Songbirds and Snakes. And I'm super excited for that movie. And I also plan on reviewing Mockingjay. Well, Mockingjay Part 1 and 2, but it's going to be in one video. Because I'm of the mindset that that should have been one movie, not two. I don't know if I'm gonna do that review before or after Ballad of the Songbirds. It's gonna depend on how much time I have to watch those movies before it comes out, and if I can get a review in before I see it. But it's gonna come. It's gonna come, and I'm not too worried about getting it done before the new movie, because the new movie is technically a prequel, not really a sequel to Mockingjay. But yeah, you can look forward to that on the channel. As far as anything else, I plan on doing a mini review series before Wonka comes out on Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I'm going to review both the original and the remake because I love the original. And while I'm not a huge fan of the remake, I think the remake compared to most remakes is a lot better than most remakes. So I'm going to review those as well. And I think I'm going to review Aquaman before Aquaman The Lost Kingdom comes out as well. So those are some reviews to look forward to for the end of the year. I know there's been some movies that I wanted to review this year that I didn't get a chance to review. If I have the time, maybe I'll review those. I think in January, since January is usually a slow, not so busy movie month, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some kind of movie lottery thing where I'm going to pick certain movies that I want to review. They can be part of a franchise that I haven't reviewed yet. They could be part of a franchise that I have done reviews for. For example, maybe I'll write down certain MCU movies that I haven't reviewed yet. Maybe I'll put down certain movies from the Star Wars franchise that I would like to review, or maybe some more original stuff. I would like to review some more Martin Scorsese stuff. Maybe I'll put the names down of certain Scorsese movies that I want to talk about. Maybe some childhood movies that I want to talk about on this channel. I'll write the names down of certain movies that I feel like talking about. And maybe I'll put like a lottery and pick the names of certain pick the movies by random. And what I'll do is I'll review that movie. And I'm not going to tell you ahead of time what the movie's going to be. You're just going to have to tune into my channel. You're just going to have to wait and see. But yeah, I think I'm going to do that for January. Like I said, I don't know when my next stream is going to be. I want to do more basketball content on this channel. I know I'm not known for doing basketball talk, but if you know anyone who likes watching basketball content, recommend them to this channel. I did a stream a few weeks ago about my NBA predictions, and I want to do more. Maybe I'll do another NBA stream at the end of November about what I think about the season so far, about certain things that have happened. And that's going to be the game plan. If there's any major news for movies, maybe I'll do streams on that. But yeah, that's kind of the game plan for the next few months for this channel. And I just want to thank you guys for sticking around, for watching not just this stream, but my other stuff. I've gotten a few more subscribers lately, so thank you for subscribing. And remember to subscribe if you haven't already. And please share us with someone who likes movie news, who's interested in the direction that Marvel's going, the possibility of a Legend of Zelda movie, and the actor strike ending. And I hope to see you guys real soon. And thank you, Jeffrey. Yeah, I don't want to go too long tonight, so thank you. But until next time, guys, take care and stay tuned for what's coming up on The George. Peace out.